Hey there. That's hilarious. I decide that I'm going to use my phone for this, and my brother decides to call me at 6 o'clock in the morning. Oh, so how is the sound? Since I see that Addison is on before everybody else gets on here, Addison, how's the sound with, because I'm on my phone instead of on the computer. Hey, Michael. I'm doing sound check. And am I coming in and out, that kind of stuff. Sounds good. Okay, hopefully this will solve the problem of the in and out stuff. I don't know what's going on with my computer, but sound is good, picture is good, all is effing well. Okay, awesome. Okay, great. Awesome. Well, this might be the newfound way of doing, except I can really see like all my flaws on my phone. Okay, well, good. Well, good morning, guys. Good morning. I was having tripod issues and trying to figure out how I was going to stand my phone up, and lighting and what's going on behind me and all that great stuff. So I'm glad I got this figured out. Hopefully this will work. So fingers crossed, and fingers crossed that not too many people try to call me as well. Otherwise you're going to see me reaching up to the phone constantly, because every now and then in the morning my phone goes crazy. But thank you. So I was, I really wasn't thinking that much this morning. I was not thinking that much at all. I kind of didn't even want to get out of bed, but I got up, as you can see, I'm up, and then I got sidetracked because Bixby on my phone was giving me about 15,000 different themes for going live on Facebook. I almost started this whole presentation as though I was in Star Wars with a great big lightsaber in front of my face going brr, brr, brr. Like that would have been interesting, but I was scared to test it out. I don't know what to do if I want it, because I want to get rid of it right away, but I thought that would be kind of a cool way to start something. So I might have to test drive that. If you see some funny stuff coming out, that's just me playing with Bixby. So yeah, anyway, so I decided that, I was thinking about community, and tribe keeps coming up, and yesterday, looking at different stuff that I want to do on my morning pattern, different things that I want to do as far as website goes, and where my coaching practice is going. Good morning, Jeff. It's all focused around people and community, and not just my local community, but global community. And then I was thinking about, the importance of the people that were around. And I know I've talked a little bit on this before, but for whatever reason, this is the message of the day. And, it's, if you look at the people, we tell our children this, right? We tell our children, be careful of the people that you associate with, because we don't want them to get into trouble. We don't want them to, we know that association is really, really important. So we tend to not want to take that own advice for ourselves, though. And it's multiple things here. The first thing is that, let's just look at money-wise, abundance-wise, money-wise. I don't remember who said it or where this exactly came from, but it's kind of a running thing across self-improvement out there. You're going to hear it over and over again, and abundance mindset coaches is for sure. And it really is kind of true. I've noticed it through the years that the 5 or 6 people that you hang out with the most is who you become the most like, and your income is also a reflection of, like, you're basically like the median of what those 5 or 6 people have. So, if you want to increase your abundance level, financially speaking, then look at the people that you hang around the most. So if you're hanging around people that are unemployed, and you're the big guy in the group making 40, well, guess what? that energy of unemployment is what you're focusing on. It's not necessarily that it is the people, that they're whatever you want to label here, but that there is a certain energy with them. If you're hanging around, people who are making 6-7 figures, and then that's how you would grow your income. Because what are you doing? You're shifting your energy with the people that you hang around. And here's the thing, it actually comes down to thinking and feeling. If you want to experience more love in your life, more abundance in your life, more travel in your life, more freedom, maybe you really want to become your own boss, but you've never done that. Well, hanging around people who have never been their own boss in that instance are not going to be supportive friends, acquaintances. We're really talking about friends and family here, who we're talking about big time. They're not going to be able to support energetically or thinking wise, which is energy, right? Thinking and emotion wise, what you're desiring to do in life. So, it's if you look out into the world, a lot of people, the majority of people, really are happiest in scarcity thinking, are, very content in fear-based thinking, are very content and believe that that's just the way it is, that they just have to accept what they have. And, the old statement of your best friends are the ones who bring out the best in you, and that we should always be trying to bring out the best in others. Well, there you have it. What is the best? The best is that we are increasing our energy and helping them increase theirs. So it is a teamwork effort there, but it is an energetic thing. And if you're around a bunch of negative Nancy people out there that are just always focused on what they don't have, on scarcity, on fear, how are you going to overcome that? I mean, you can overcome it. Of course you can overcome it. Hi, Kira. Hi. You can overcome that, but it's going to be so much harder to overcome a group of people that are negative and fear-based and scarcity-based than it is to be in a group that is lifting you up. So, I think I even mentioned it yesterday. It's pushing up people, right? Well, push yourself up too. Push yourself up by the people that you choose to be around the most. This is not that you can't be around negative people. Once you get your vibration up to a certain level, you could walk into a room full of negative people, and they're not going to be able to. It would take them a long ass time to bring you down. But on the front side of things, when you're really making those changes, then you have to be so cautious, so conscientious of the people that you choose. And, I often get told that, I have a very small inner circle. I have very, very few people. I'm great at being friendly with a lot of people, and I do enjoy being around a lot of people. In that group setting, I love that. But I'm really good at making people feel as though they're closer to me than what they are. And yeah, I'm sorry, here I'm probably talking to some people. I know that there's gonna be people that are like, oh, I thought I was in our inner circle. No, there's like maybe, oh my gosh, there's maybe, no, kids not included, I probably have like 4 or 5 people that I would say are really in that inner circle. And it's interesting. Every time that somebody has gotten into my inner circle, we're like, we know when you're in your inner circle, you know that you're in your inner circle, because it's a completely different ball game. I mean, I'm so much more just, I don't know, there's just an energy switch there. And then you have that outer circle where there's people that I enjoy, that I'm learning from, that I'm sharing with, that I like to be around, but I'm going to be really, really picky and choosy about how much energy I'm going to put out there. And then there's that next level and that next level. So it's basically like a tier system. And look at your own life as to, you know, what are those first two tiers of your friendship circles and relationship? Let's call them relationship circles. Who are the people in there? What is their energy like? What is, you know, look at you if you're focused in on abundance and creation work as far as manifesting more money into your life, well then what do those people say about that right there? Because, you know, if they're vibrating, let's say you make 50,000-60,000 a year and you want to grow it to 100,000 this year, but all your friends make, you know, 30 to 70,000. Okay, well, do the math. If you have 5 friends that make 30 to 70,000 and you're making 60 and you want to grow it to 100, if you just take that focus right there on abundance and you don't have any big players in the group, then it's going to be a hell of a lot harder for you to grow that, because on top of that energy circle of everybody pretty much resonating all at the same level, which is what happens in friendship. You know, you look at different people, and the higher up that financial abundance plane that we look, your friends change because you're changing. And sometimes you have to change the people that are around, which is actually where I'm going with this. Because I know this is like one of those really, really heart topics. And I mean heart topics, because one of the biggest things that holds us back in life are the relationships that we have. Because we don't want to lose a relationship. We don't want to, you know, let certain people go in our life just so that we can move forward, so that we can expand and grow ourselves. But the reality is that if we want what we say that we want, and we really desire it, and we really believe that we can have it, right? Those two core key principles, then chances are we either have to consciously make a choice to pull in new people into our life and really get those people into our life so that we can grow and advance in ourself. And, you know, whether it is money or love, if it is building a business, if it is getting healthy, physically fit, you know, making life changes in any area of our life requires the support of other people in our life. You can do it alone, you can, but the road is so much more tough. So much more tough. It's not, I mean, it's unbelievably tough. Anybody who has ever said, I want to lose, you know, 15, 20 pounds, whatever it is, right? And they're like, I'm going to exercise, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to eat better. And then they make it, what, a week, 2 weeks on their own. And then all of a sudden, if they don't have that workout buddy, if things, and you know, if there's not some sort of support, you start crashing and burning. And it starts out in little ways. And then it is really just about, you know, you need to have those people that go, hey, let's get up, let's go to the gym. I know you're not feeling that great, but you know, let's get on this. Are we going to the gym this morning? Just because we really don't want to let anybody down. So the gym is going to happen when we have a workout buddy. The eating right, how are you going to sit down and plow through like a really awesome grilled cheese sandwich and really enjoy it when you know that you should be eating more fruits and vegetables? And if your buddy, your friend, your partner, your, you know, whoever this is that you're working with on that support system is sitting there eating a salad and just looks at you, they don't even have to say anything. You're not going to make certain choices when you have that partnership there. And, you know, when we look at even like our intimate relationships, our husbands, our wives, our girlfriends, our boyfriends, the people that we're very, very interactive with and see and have that intimacy with, it can be a really tough haul. I mean, it can be done. People can be polar opposites and live underneath the same roof and make it years. But when people are more in alignment with each other, it definitely makes it a heck of a lot easier, and both people are pushing at people, and they're going to stand a lot stronger in whatever they are doing. whether it is eating right, exercising, really focusing in on the relationship, you know, pulling in financial abundance, you know, going out and doing a lot of great, maybe healing or mission work, or, you know, helping others, or whatever that might be. When you have somebody, at least one person in your life for that support, and if you have 2 or 3, all the better, right? Things just get more stable with the more people that you have in your life that are supporting what your goals and desires are, and your goals and desires are supporting theirs. So you have to, I mean, it's really, really important to pay attention to the people that they're around. And, you know, what's the statement? Misery loves company. There you go. Misery loves company. I knew I would think of that. So misery loves company. And here's the whole thought process of it. So if you wonder, should I keep hanging around so-and-so? You know, I feel sorry for them. I'm the only one that really brings some light into their life. I've had friends in the past where I ended up remaining friends with them because I was being positive and their life was total shit. And I was just like, okay, you know, I've got to be that positive light. I'm going to help them make the change. I'm going to be that, yeah. And guess what? You know, 10 years later, I look back and I'm like, I love them, but I'm not talking to them very often because, if at all, I have a few friends that I don't talk to at all. And I still count them as friends because I would be there. If they called me in the middle, you know, at 2 a.m. and said, hey, this just happened, I would totally go to the rescue. And I feel the same back, but I can't have the association on the daily scale with them, because it would just really pull me down. And it's because of the misery loves company factor here. And misery loves company because, you know, it's that negative charge. So if somebody is living in a lot of negative thinking, negative feeling, that negative emotion, then they're going to be what? Creating misery in their life, creating some sort of suffering in their life. They're going to be, you know, it's like, as women, I'm sure that every single woman out there has this moment, right? You're out with your girlfriends, and like, I used to be part of a mom's group, and I was the hostess with the mostest, and we would always have, you know, like martini night, and we'd do this and we'd do that, and we had like pajama martini nights, and play spoons and play bunco and different things like that. So it's just like, you know, this mom's being silly. And it was a blast, but inevitably every single martini night that we had, it would end up really drama focused, really, really drama focused. And it would just end up about, you know, bashing some woman who did not come to that particular night. People would start talking about the people who weren't there. And it would become this, like we're all in high school again. And, you know, this cliquey drama, just blah, blah, blah. And it was so negative. As much as there was this charge because of the friendship and the energy and the fun and the laughter, for me personally, I would always feel like shit almost afterwards because there was this negative draw on the other side. And it wasn't negativity in the hopes to try to fix a problem or to help somebody. It was negativity in literally just that judgment, that criticism. And, you know, it's true that if somebody's going to speak about another person like that in front of you, then what are they saying about you when you're not around, right? So, I mean, our character says a lot about ourselves. And the energy factor of when we're in the middle of drama, what are we going to pull in? We're going to pull in more drama. When we're really focused on suffering, misery, breeding misery, well, what are we doing? We are breeding misery to come into our life in all different areas. So be really, really cautious. I found in Proverbs 27, a mirror reflects a man's face, but what he is really like is shown by the kind of friends he chooses. I was like, wow, that's a great quote, right? mirror reflects a man's face, but what he really is like is shown by the friends he chooses. So, and that is, see, this relationships is reminders of my history. Yeah, that's true, Michael. It's the relationships, like what I was talking about. It's like we're growing, and you have to, as we grow, our relationships are going to change. And if you are fearful of needing to let go of certain people in your life because you don't want to have anybody in your life, well, if you become like those you associate with the most, look at the people that you hang around with the most and say, do I want to become like them? Because in 5 years from now, chances are you're going to be more like them than what you realize. And you have a decision to make. What do you want more? Your dreams, your desires, or the friendship? And, and like I said, I've got tons of people in my life that I absolutely love and adore, and I wish only the best for, but I can't be around them because they chose to remain in quicksand. And I'm like, have fun with that. I'm not going to, I don't want to be in the quicksand. I don't mind sitting on the beach. I don't mind sitting on the beach, but I'm not going to hang out in the quicksand with you. And it's really just a matter of looking at the sand. How do you perceive the sand? Is it quicksand, or is it kicking back on the beach with a drink and really enjoying the ocean? Well, I prefer looking at my sand as though I'm sitting on the beach with a drink and enjoying the sunset or the sunrise, playing in the water. And there are people in my past and even people in my current that, and I don't hang out with them that much. And it's because of that energy there. So being really, really cautious and conscientious of that energy. And if you think that it's not better to be alone, well, newsflash, it's better to be alone than in the wrong company, because the wrong company is going to get you the wrong results. It's going to get you the life that you don't want. It's going to make sure that you don't achieve your desires. It's going to make sure that you don't achieve, that you're not in the best energetic vibe that you can possibly be in. So, if you're comfortable, if the comfort of being in those friendships is more comfortable to you, then if you're more able to do that than to actually jump out there and, I got purging your house, clear out what no longer serves you in order to, yes, exactly, Amy, it is. I mean, like I was talking about house cleaning the other day and the importance of house cleaning, and like we clear out our rooms and all that kind of stuff. And Amy was talking about how she just had that urge, but it is like, we talk about like going through our Facebook and, I dumped 300 people on my Facebook. Well, there is an energy as far as like on your Facebook, the people that are popping up on your Facebook all the time, you're getting energy from them too. Now, granted, that's a little bit more distant. Shoot, everything's moving around here. But it's not as important as looking at your actual physical world, Kira. You cannot invest all your positive energy into others and have nothing left for yourself to grow and progress in your own life. Exactly. And that's the whole thing there. Is like, if you're hanging out with people because you believe that you can pull them up, you can only pull somebody up so much. They actually have to step up the staircase and want it. You can't just keep pulling them up. If somebody doesn't want change, it really is. It's like, look at it like, and I hate to, apologies to any women who have had physical abuse out there, but the whole battered wife syndrome of the story of the woman who is being beaten and being abused, and then the cops come in and they take the guy off and they do this and they do that, and then she turns around and goes back to him. And then she says, I can't leave him. I just can't. I can't live without him. I can't do this. I can't do that. And then you hear the story of, her inevitably really seriously getting hurt or even death coming. well, now it's a very real for a lot of people. A lot of women live that right there. But if a friend comes in and says, I'm gonna whisk you away, I'm gonna take you to the woman's shelter, you can live with me, we're gonna make sure that everything's fine, and then all of a sudden, like she gets whisked away, and then 3 months later she's right back with the same dude that she was with that was beating her, and everybody's like, why would you go back? And there's multiple reasons as to why she would go back, but the biggest thing is that we get so used to comfortable with the energy and we don't want to be alone, and then we find ourselves alone in certain situations. And this applies to our little shit. We don't have to have physical abuse on us. It can be quite literally that I just want to make an extra 10 grand this month. Or I just want to lose my 15 pounds. Well, if you're hanging around people who are always eating at fast food restaurants and don't exercise, and then you're going to the gym, guess what? You're either going to lose your friends because they're going to be like, I never see you anymore because you're at the gym, and you're going, I can't hang out with you because you only eat at crap restaurants, and I really am focused on my health here. Then all of a sudden there's going to be enough friction there, and when enough friction happens, a breakage happens. And two things that are that polar opposite, when you build that, they're going to break naturally. But what happens a lot of times is we feel that friction, and it becomes so uncomfortable that the one of us who's saying, I want this, I want this, I want this, right? You're trying to make the change. If in that moment you have that choice to lean in and go, okay, I give up, I'm going to give up my desire, I'm going to give up what I'm wanting in life, so that I can just have this comfort, and I can not make this change out here. I don't want to sacrifice these people in my life for my desire, for what I'm saying that I want for myself. Or you make that change and the relationship moves to the side, which is where you end up, 10 years later down the road, if you stick to it, and you go, wow, that was the old me. That was the old me. That's who I used to be, and that's fine. And some people grow with you and some people don't. But the ones who don't, you have to get right with that. It actually is better to be alone than in the wrong company, because the wrong company is going to give you the wrong results. Plain and simple. Wrong company gives you the wrong results. If you say that you want something, watch who you're with. Do you have support? Is everybody pushing each other up? Are people growing? Is people's mindsets and energy moving in the same direction? You don't all have to be vibrating at the same level, but you need to be moving in the same direction. So that means growth if you're in whatever category you're looking at here, If you're in a relationship, relating this back to like an intimate relationship, and I deal with this all the time, where I have a couple come in and they're doing whatever, and one person really wants it and the other person is lukewarm to it, maybe at best, or maybe even cold. And I always know in those situations I've got like maybe 2 sessions, and if I'm not seeing a change in that lukewarm cold person, then their marriage is toast, their relationship is toast. It's pretty much done for, because that one person is refusing to connect, refusing to get in there and apply attention to the relationship. And if one person wants to apply attention to the relationship, and the other person says, I don't have the time for it, that says everything that you need to know about the relationship. I don't have the time for the relationship. Well, then why the fuck are you in the relationship? It's like, I don't have the time to go and get healthy. Then why the fuck are you, why are you even saying that you want to get healthy? I don't have the time to work the extra that I need to dedicate what I need to really get my business up and off the ground. My corporate job is taking up too much of my time. And I know there's a lot of people out there in this, because there's so many opportunities in the world, and we're all trying to have more. So if it's not going to happen, our thinking and our feeling are, yes, 98% of that, but the thinking and the feeling has to lead to action. No matter what you're doing, it has to lead to action. We are in an action-based world. And if you're thinking and feeling is not leading to action, then it's plain and simple not going to happen, and you don't really want it. So it has to manifest into actions. The actions should be easy. They should be something that you're enjoying doing. They should be something that just like turns you on, excites you, and moves you forward. And if that's not happening, then you need to reevaluate what you're saying that you desire, no matter what it is. Hold on, let me scroll up here and see what. Growth or orgasm itself, is this a mutually beneficial, really? Yeah, is it a mutually beneficial relationship? And that's really, really true, you know. But be careful of the benefit, right? Because all relationships are mutually beneficial at some point in time. Some of them are mutually beneficial in the fact that they're benefiting us to stay small. And if that's what you're wanting, well then, there you go. And I struggle with this concept for a heart level. Well, what about when someone might have a lower vibe but is making progress? It feels all right. Well, if somebody's moving forward, that's what I just got done saying. As in, is like if somebody's moving forward, it's about progression. It's the stagnant people. I'm talking about the stagnant people. If you have people in your world that are stagnant, then or growing like this because they're really not wanting to grow. If you have somebody that's really energetically working on themselves and they're focused, they're feeding themselves stuff that is going to help them grow, then they're growing. And they're going to grow at their own pace, yes, and we can grow at different levels. You know, we're going to do this. But if you have somebody that's just like that and they're like, oh yeah, I want growth, but they're never doing, it's the person who wants to lose weight, but you know, and they buy the exercise equipment and then they never get on the exercise equipment. That's the person I'm talking about, that you're gonna have to you have to question those relationships. If they're not wanting to do the work, internal and action based, for themselves, because that's what it's about, right? We're all in this for ourselves. Then if you choose to hang out with that person and those are your inner circle people, then that's saying that you're wanting to remain stagnant too, because you're going to keep people in your life that are going to hold. The benefit of them is that, yeah, talk and no action. Exactly. It is about that right there. So you have it, and it's going to pull on your heartstrings. Yes, and I know you have sensitive heartstrings, but it's going to pull on your heartstrings, and it's tough decisions. And it's not that you have to walk up to the person and say, hey, you know, I love you, but we can't hang out anymore. Here's the beautiful thing about energy is that if you really focus in on yourself and you're doing the work, let me take a sip of my coffee. You focus in on doing the work, then energetically speaking, it's going to be a very natural process for the most part, unless you, unless you really, force the issue of staying there. So in other words, and I tell the story of, all right, my kids are in the background, but just don't listen to me, guys. I'm talking about your dad. So try not to talk too much smack about their dad when they're too close. But this really is, it's important to bring this up because it's a beautiful place. And it was my big growth curve over this last summer, was I realized that every time I was at an all-time high, and I was like, I would just crank up my energy, and I would be having some really awesome shit going. And then I would have, I would be in this beautiful space, and it would almost become uncomfortable to be vibrating at this high level and to have all this good stuff come in. And I realized that my basically my little let some air out technique, self-sabotage technique, was I would call my ex-husband. In those moments, my brain, the message that I would tell myself, I would be like, well, I really need to check in with him because of, I haven't talked to him for like a month, and there might be he hasn't talked to the kids that much, and this hasn't happened, and that has, I don't know what's going on in his life. I should update him on the kids. Communication. I would be like, I need to communicate with him about the kids and just make sure, check and see where everything's at as far as, so that we can kind of have the best relationship as parents that aren't living together. So thinking about it like that. So I would call him in this really high place, thinking that I was in such a great state that I could handle him. But what I found out was that at that point, I really was not in the space to be able to handle him. His pull on me was still so strong. It was like I was basically just bleeding out. And the effect was that I would call him and I would be, yeah. And I'm like, high energy, and just going to town on communication. And it would bring me like, whoop. And I realized I had this like moment, I think it was last September, October, I had this like realization that, oh my gosh, my ex-husband is my self-sabotage move to decompress some of my energy a little bit. Like there's so much, and it becomes so uncomfortable for me to be vibrating at this high level, instead of using that energy in a creative way and pushing it through for, like for a launch, for a new coaching program, for some creative article writing or videos or something like that. I would instead turn and give this beautiful energy away and bring myself down. So look at those kinds of things. I mean, it might be that we do this with, the big ones would be that we get really, really high energy, and then we opt to, go and all of a sudden we're like, oh, well, I've been doing great for 2 weeks. I'm going to take 3-4 days off, right? And I'm going to just go party. I'm going to go live it up. I'm going to go relax. And that's fine as far as taking time off. But what are you doing? How are you self-sabotaging? Are you drinking too much alcohol? Are you all of a sudden, like, oh, I'm going to treat myself, and since marijuana is so, legalizing in so many different states, are you masking, knocking yourself down by potentially like, oh, I'm going to go smoke a little bit, I'm going to go drink a little bit, and all of a sudden a little bit becomes too much because it feels good on the front side, and the next thing you know, you've done too much of it, and that's how you're bringing your energy down. Having high energy and vibrating in a high frequency, this is the message, the more high frequency you get, it's going to become uncomfortable on the front side, and you're going to notice that you're going to find little things that you're doing, or sometimes they're going to appear little, but they're humongous. And the people that we choose to hang around is definitely one of them, is that that we're actually bringing our energy down, and we're doing it unconscious. So the step here is to become conscious of it, start noticing it, and then start making different choices, right? I'd say all the time. And then you have what? You have the opportunity to choose differently. Choose differently. Well, here you go again. You have the opportunity to choose differently in the relationships that you have as well. So yeah, I know Addison was sharing that story with me that she's sharing on here, and it's true. We have those people, but really, seriously, I know self included, it's really, really difficult to make those choices and basically energetically cut the cords to certain relationships and allow it to flow differently. But we have to do that if we want to move forward. So who's at the end of the day, who's laying on your deathbed with you? Nobody. And what's looking you in the face? Is it going to be, you might have people around you. If you're lucky, you're going out with, loved ones around you. But what's truly looking in your face is the regrets, and it's regrets. It's this loss of, I wish I had done this, I wish I had done that. And with those wishes, those regrets, comes the realization that the majority of the things that we choose to do or not to do is a reflection of the people that we choose to be around or not to be around. So, when you make the choice to change your closest associations, you're going to come to a tremendous turning point in your life. It's going to flip your game around, and really you can move out of a relationship very softly by becoming really dedicated to yourself and not allowing it. Like me, I've had to say, I get to these high points, and guess what? I don't call my ex-husband. I have not talked to him since September. I think August or September was the last time I talked to him. And here you go. It's one of those things of like, I made that realization, and I just went, you know what, my focus is forward, and what I want for my life and what I want for my family, for my children, is more important than me bringing myself down. So no matter how much I might want to pull those strings and pull myself down here and there for all the right reasons, supposedly, it's not the right reasons, because it's not going to give me the result that I want. It's not going to keep me in the energy that I want. So yeah, so remember, the eyes of the average people, this was my quote that I wanted to share. Remember, in the eyes of average people, average is always considered outstanding. So I'm going to leave you with that, because I see that it's 6:53 and I've been blabbing a long time. But in the eyes of average people, average is always considered outstanding. So, if you say that you don't want to be average and ordinary, if you say that you want to have this amazing, fuck yes, freedom-based life, where you are consciously creating your life, then you have to take responsibility for consciously creating your life. And that comes down to the relationships that you have as well, and the people that you're allowing into your spectrum, and how they are really affecting you, and really getting right with the fact that some of them are affecting you poorly, and some of them are really supporting you and pushing you up. So make your decisions, and remember that it is better to be alone in some instances than to have the wrong company, because the wrong company is going to breed the wrong results, plain and simple. It does not, there's no way around it. There's just no way around it. But start looking for relationships that are supporting you, because where two stand same, then that's strong. And then if you have 3, it's stronger, and 4, it's stronger. But realize that you don't need 100 close friends. You don't. A table does not have 100 legs. So, and if you want strength, all you really probably need is at least one other person in your life that's really, really supporting you, so that when they're down, you can push them up, and when you're down, they can push you up. But then, 2 or 3 other ones outside of that primary is really all you need for that incredible strength. So the self-sabotaging has been an ass whip in my life. Self-awareness to move on. Yes, it's an ass whip for all of us. I mean, because this is like I said, it is one of those heart moments. It's a very hard heart moment. So I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you, Kira, for being on here. Thank you for sharing. Especially, I love seeing everybody's responses. Thank you, Michael and Amy and Addison. And I saw a couple other people. I'm not going to go scrolling through there right this very second. But as always, if this, you feel like it's a good message, share Conscious Coffee, get it out there for me. If everybody, just clicks the share button, click the share button wherever the share button is on your screen, and click that, tag a friend who might need this message that's, really just needs a little, I don't mind being the baseball bat for you. And have a fucking amazing, Tuesday, fucking amazing Tuesday. Go create the, is it Wednesday? Oh my gosh, my kid's telling me. Jules is like, it's Wednesday, Mom. All right, whatever. I don't pay attention to the calendar. I look at it, I go, oh, it's this day. So you say, whatever. I'll let the calendar tell me what day it is, and I haven't looked at it, so. Okay, share. Thank you for the comments, and I will catch you tomorrow at 6 a.m. ish with whatever the heck message it is then. Okay, love you guys. Bye.